I started the main event. There's 16 minutes left in the broadcast. I'm like, oh, Frankie. I knew right away. I was like, Frankie got
Why did you say Frankie, dude?
What? You think he's gonna knock out Zombie? No, he's gonna pitter patter for 5 rounds. That's what he's gonna do. If anybody got put out, you knew it was gonna be Frankie. And then I'm thinking, based on the timestamp, I'm like, okay, let's see how the first round goes. Seems to happen in the second.
Yeah,
a minute in. Fucking the jibber jabber, it's over. Yeah,
the jibber jabber stuff.
I'm like, it's done.
I honestly thought he'd be able to eat a little bit more than that.
He looks small too. Because
even in like I put together another Hail Mary parlay after, and I put fight goes to round 2 minutes and 30, so over 1.5.
Yeah,
I'm like, he'll survive at least 1.5, right? No, first couple shots he eats, he's just like,
he's too old. You can't
he
do
pulls
this at
out
38.
the fucking what does the CME call him? Old man Edgar.
Yeah.
With the fucking spectacles and all that shit.
He's got an afro too going on.
I know. I saw that and I'm like, yo, check the lettuce out on this guy.
like his skills are probably there, but you can't take shots anymore, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'd prefer to see him retire, but fine, give him a chance at 135 because he did look tiny as fuck. And Zombie hits hard. He looks small.
Sandhagen is gonna murk him if that's the fight they still end up going with.
No, they can't. They can't. He can't turn around that quick. Hell no.
I know.
Frankie,
after getting put out
6
like
months, dude. Relax.
Yeah, I guess 6
you took
months.
a beating. Your body just wouldn't shut off.
I don't know when he turns 39, but he's currently 38, so he's definitely getting up there in age.
No, he's already up there. Yeah. You can't. When does it ever work well to get that when you're that old, late 30s, and you start to cut down to a new division? That never goes well. He's gonna be slower now too, and he's starting to get put out. So it
seems like any shot is hurting him at this point, which kind of that's.
And yeah, that was a small left hook. That means he didn't see it. 135ers are only going to be faster.
Yeah, I wasn't totally buying into the whole like Frank Edgar's chin is cracked narrative until now. Now I'm sold.
He's too old. He's taken too much.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt of only getting caught by Brian Ortega and a guy that he wasn't expecting to get knocked out by. Like he wasn't expecting him to fucking pull an uppercut out of nowhere. And then, he survived the Cub Swanson fight. He survived who did he fight after that? Yeah, he's had 2 fights since getting put out.
And then title fight, Max Holloway.
Holloway. Neither guy was able to put him out, right? I thought if he was going to show any signs of wear and tear, it's going to be especially in the Max Holloway fight. I thought Holloway would have maybe come on strong later in the fight and then maybe been able to land enough to rock Frankie like that.
But Holloway doesn't have that one punch.
He doesn't have that one punch, but he has the overwhelming factor. So even I think one or two of those stinging shots.
It's hard to overwhelm Frankie, though. He will return fire.
It seemed like it was crazy how much he was overwhelmed in the Zombie fight. Like a couple shots, and he was just like,
no, but that's after getting rocked, though. Then he got overwhelmed. So you're not there at that point.
I guess Zombie definitely does hit harder than both of those guys.
Yeah, 100%. Swanson and he has his KO power.
Man, it was just so sad to see. Like this guy comes out here. How long did the fight take? 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I feel like it was a lot quicker than that. But then again, he did survive the initial barrage, and then he came back. I'm like, oh my god, he's surviving. He's gonna fucking pull a Gray Maynard off again.
Yeah, it was shades of that, but I was like, this is gonna.
It was kind of unfortunate, but this kind of helps out in terms of the 145 division.
Yeah, he should have been there anyway.
We have a new champion last week, in Volkanovski. I know that they're talking about giving Max Holloway a shot. A part of me is kind of off that train. Like when you decisively get beaten like that, and you can say all you want about Max Holloway being the GOAT because he beat Jose Aldo twice. He defended against Brian Ortega. I don't get it. I get the stretch and the resume that he had leading up to his title fights. But Volkanovski's still going in there and decisively beating you 5 rounds. It's not like if you can compare Max Holloway's run to Jose Aldo's title run, then I would be like, okay, let's give Max Holloway another shot. I'm not on board with the whole immediate title shot. You have to be more dominant.
No,
you defend the title twice. You win the belt once.
I don't like that argument though with the Aldo thing because they technically did fight the guys. It's just Holloway had to do it on the way to finally getting a title shot, and Aldo's doing it in title fights. But you're still beating the whole division.
A part of me feels like
he beat the whole division to the title fight.
It's a different reign when you're talking about a guy coming up and beating these guys, and then compared to actually holding the title and defending the belt.
Okay, there's a little difference there, but let's say
you weren't
Holloway,
a champion for that long.
But let's say Holloway didn't have to keep taking fights and he had won the title earlier, then his Lamas fight would have been a title defense. That like you.
But what I'm trying to say, as a champion, he wasn't like a dominant champion holding the title for as long as he did. And I understand, like, again, his road to the title saw him win, I think, 12 fights in a row.
Yeah, he beat up the whole division, all the top guys on the way there.
I don't know. For me, it's a little bit of a different allure when you're actually holding the belt and fighting the guys at the top of the division at that time too. Like when he's beating, he started off with Will Chope. Okay, we'll fucking forget that one.
No. That's the thing though. When he's beating Cub, when he's beating Lamas, they are still at the top. They were still at the top when he beat them.
Anthony Pettis, whatever. That's when he won the interim title, right?
Yeah, not the greatest win in hindsight. Fair enough.
Pettis, Lamas, Stevens, Oliveira, which was a weird win. Swanson, Miller, Corsani.
Yeah, those last four that you just said were
Feely
top guys.
Feely was 2014, so that's a very young Feely. Clay Collard, who gives a shit. Akira Corsani, who gives a shit. Cole Miller, who gives a shit. Cub Swanson, that's 2015. That's not a bad one. Charles Oliveira, he wasn't really who he is now. You know what I mean? He was still in a rough patch around 2015.
Maybe with the weight cutting, but I feel skill-wise, he's kind of...
And that was a weird fight, too. That only lasted 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And he, remember, it was like a neck spasm or some shit?
But it kind of looked like Holloway was getting ready to piece his ass up.
Jeremy Stevens, always like a middle-tier guy in the division. Ricardo Lamas.
Still a solid win. Yeah.
Jose Aldo beat him in a title fight as well. Anthony Pettis should have never happened, especially the fact that he missed weight, too. That fight, Pettis, that is. And then obviously Aldo.
The only
Ortega.
top featherweights he's never beaten is Mendez, because he never fought him in Connor. Who else? Who else is there that are like the top of the top? He has all of them checked off. Edgar, Aldo, Swanson, Stevens, Lamas. Those are by far the top featherweights overall. I
guess Zombie's missing from his list.
Well, now, because Zombie at the time wasn't top, though. So now, fine.
For me, it's like technically two title defenses. Right, won the title. Won the interim title, unified the title, defended twice. I don't get. I don't know. Like I need like a Jose Aldo type run. I need like a Anderson Silva type run. I need like a George St. Pierre type run.
Okay, this is why I disagree with you, because he has gone on those runs, just not with the belt. But the performances still speak for themselves. Like whether a title is on the line or not, he still easily beat those guys.
I don't know what it is with me and getting stuck up with the fact that he didn't have the belt for those fights.
He still went on a champion run though. Like how many?
You're completely on board with a Holloway rematch, rematch?
No, well, not necessarily. Like I'm okay with him getting a win first because I get it. He can make adjustments and it wasn't like he got blown out. Yeah, but he still soundly got beat. Yeah. So let's maybe get him another win, an impressive performance, and build that fight up a little more, and maybe Volkanovski fights someone else. I'm not opposed to that, but at the same time, I'm not upset if he gets a rematch. I think his resume is enough to warrant it.
Here's a good comparison. Who do you think is more deserving of an immediate rematch?
Okay.
Jose Aldo that just got knocked out by Conor McGregor, or Max Holloway getting soundly beat over 5 rounds?
I actually agree with you. Aldo in that scenario 100% should get the immediate rematch.
Just based on circumstances. Like,
yeah,
he got knocked out, also, we didn't get to see the fight play out.
That was also the first time he lost in like 10 years or something ridiculous, right? And it was just a quick knockout. Yes, so you can call fluke, but I agree with you in that sense. Volkanovski shut him down. That's why I'm totally okay with him not getting the rematch, but I wouldn't be upset if they booked it because of his resume. I think it warrants.
Like I'm not going to say I'm going to boycott the pay-per-view or something. I get what you're saying. Puts them together.
You're just not too amped about it. I get that.
I've seen it. We've seen it just now.
And he got shut down. Yeah, like let's get him another fight to see, is there something that we see in that fight that can show that maybe now he can go and get Volkanovski.
Get your feet wet again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go taste victory. You've gone 1-2 this year. I mean, I know the other fight was at a higher weight class, but you got beat by Dustin Poirier, who just got wrecked by... I'm not trying to do MMA math.
That was damaging, though.
That was pretty bad.
He had a lot of damage in that one,
I was surprised that he came back as quickly as he did to fight Frankie, and he performed, so good for him. But Volkanovski absolutely shut him down, so what I'm trying to get at here is Volkanovski Zombie? Like, is that what's next?
Okay, I think...
Like, let's pull up the rankings real quick, but I think
I guess so, in all honesty.
Let's do Zabit and Yair, because that fight needs to fucking happen.
Yeah, I don't like
Zombie the title shot.
I don't like Zabit getting a title shot, so fine. But then Ortega's left out. Who does Ortega get?
Let's figure that out.
That's why, like, technically, I guess you should do Zombie and Volkanovski and then Ortega Holloway, but that's a rematch. So in terms of how to match them up, it might actually just make more sense to do the Holloway Volkanovski rematch and do Ortega Zombie. Ortega is still, he said he's still going for the Zombie fight. And he's not out that long. He had a partial ACL tear, no surgery. He can just sit on it and heal it.
Like realistically sitting at the top of this division, you got Holloway, who just lost, Ortega, who, you know, doesn't deserve a title shot, technically.
No, he doesn't.
Zabit doesn't deserve a title shot. Frank Edgar, who just is going down to 135 and just got murked anyway. Yair Rodriguez, who should probably fight Zabit. You got Korean Zombie, you got Hanato Moicano.
Moicano is not a title contender.
Exactly.
No.
So
plus Moicano's moving up. 55, he said next fight.
Oh yeah, exactly. So it's you got Volkanovski, Holloway, Magomed.
Here's what I think happens. Volkanovski
Yair.
just broke his hand too, so he's out.
Oh yeah, he just had surgery.
Yeah, so he's out for a bit. And if Ortega's going to be ready soon, I think they do Zombie Ortega for the.
I wouldn't mind that.
And
I wouldn't mind that since they already had it booked. Why not put them together? Especially if Volkanovski's going to be off for a bit. Yeah. I don't know when they're talking about doing this Adelaide card because that's the one that they keep trying to target this fight for.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know how soon it's going to be. I don't know how soon fucking Volkanovski's going to be back either.
I think as a result of that, like the fact that they're probably, because Volkanovski will sit out for a bit, Max probably needs a break anyway. Ortega wants to get back in. He's going to be ready soon. Zombie literally took 0 damage against Edgar. I think they're probably going to do the Volkanovski-Holloway rematch and then Ortega-Zombie for the next shot.
And then you got to definitely book Zabit and Yair. That's kind of a no-brainer. Like that's been teed up for how long now?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm totally okay with that. Zabit does not deserve a title fight after that last performance. Put somebody out, show that you can win a 3rd round for fuck's sakes, and then maybe
put him in a fight night main event.
No, get a fight. Yeah, honestly, fight night main event, put him in a 5-rounder. We know Yair can go 5 rounds.
Yeah.
And if he survives the first 2, let's see what happens. That fight could get really interesting.
I'm very much intrigued by that.
Yair's wild too. You know, Zabit's kind of wild. Yair can match that in the first couple of rounds.
That would be a crazy fucking fight. And it definitely.
But then, hold on, one quick point though. Yair did get kind of dominated in the 3rd round, so it'd be kind of funny if they both kind of go off for 2 rounds and then they both kind of slow down.
That's the thing about Yair though. He really let it go in that 2nd round against Stevens where he was trying to finish him.
Yeah. And then
I kind of put an asterisk. I put an asterisk beside his cardio just due to, at least from that fight, just because the 2nd round, like that's as close as to a finish that you're going to get. And then Jeremy Stevens was even as close to getting a fucking finish.
He was
3rd round.
Beating the shit out of him in the 3rd round.
That was insane. Well, maybe we might revisit that fight in the future in terms of like the CSS, how we would have scored that fight. But it seems like a foregone conclusion, and I kind of don't like it that Holloway's probably going to fight Volkanovski next.
Dana likes it too, right? And the rematch in Australia, big fight, this and that. So
if you watched the Holloway JRE already,
yeah,
it didn't seem like, even after the fight, it didn't seem like he was super intent on hopping on the rematch right away. Like it seems like this is what's going to happen, but it feels like he's trying to just step away, take a couple weeks or whatever the fuck it is. What do you think it is?
I think he's just being careful about what he's saying because of negotiations and all that stuff.
Could be.
He even said, he's like, people trying to say like, oh, why aren't you asking for the rematch? You don't want it? He's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Of course I fucking want it. I'm a fighter, dude. I'll fight anyone. So I think it's more like,
I'm not saying he doesn't want it, but
I don't want to throw out what I want right now.
Yeah.
Let's do that shit behind the scenes negotiations.
I'm not saying he doesn't want it. I just think it's the way he's approaching it, but also it's definitely a tactic in terms of like negotiating and all that.
Yeah. And here's the good thing about that fight. The rounds 4 and 5, you could argue Holloway started to make adjustments and started to take it. So I don't know if you want to say unlimited rounds, maybe Holloway comes back and wins it, right? I don't know. But like that's the interesting part about a rematch, right? It's that Holloway may start to make adjustments later, but then it was kind of too late. Like he ran out of time essentially.
I wish that we can kind of just get that fight a little bit further down. Like I want to see Volkanovski defend against somebody else. I want to see Holloway get another not decisive victory, but at least another victory against somebody else, get a different look, and then regain your confidence, go back in there and try to reclaim your title.
I'm okay with that.
I knew right off the bat that like I think it was after the Mendez fight. I'm like, okay, Volkanovski is going to be at the top for a while, and him and Holloway will probably fight each other at least multiple times, maybe 2 or 3 times. Same with Yair and Zabit. I think both of those guys are going to eventually fight each other numerous times. I could see them fighting each other now for like a title contender fight, and then one of them being champion, and then they could eventually fight each other again. I see it. Like Obviously, Zabit has to make some adjustments in terms of his cardio and all that. Yair's kind of starting to come into his own. Like, he's starting to look more like a finished product than he was even before his Frankie Edgar fight. Like, he was really highly touted. Everybody's like, yo, this guy's going to be next champ, blah, blah, blah. Frankie Edgar goes out there and exploits him. And we kind of saw that. And then I think the betting odds are actually suggested that as well, because Frankie Edgar was the favorite going into that fight. So it's good to see that he's bounced back with a positive attitude, because we know how demoralizing that was for him. That was one of the major stories coming out of that, was that Yair would like delved into depression or some shit after the Edgar fight because he got whooped so bad. I'm
not totally sold on him though, because if you look at both performances after Chan Sung Young, he got the Hail Mary knockout. He was soundly getting outboxed, and to me it felt
he was
like
holding his own though, like like he was losing.
But defensively, I'm just like, man, you've been out for a while since the Edgar fight. Is that really the best you did in that time, being so young? I thought he was just getting hit too easily. And then he won. And then in the Stevens fight, he gassed hard in the third. Like, he comes out as an animal.
Again, asterisk right there.
When he's got cardio, he's really hard to deal with because of how unorthodox he is, throwing all those weird strikes. But I don't know. Like, in a title fight, if Stevens Jair was 5 rounds, he's getting fucked up.
Yeah. Like, I wish we got that fucking Mexico City card.
Yeah. That totally changed everything for me. Remember, I think I bet on Stevens in the first one because it was a 5-rounder, and then when it got changed to a 3-round, I'm like, I'm staying away from this because he's probably going to run out of time and get going in the third. And that's kind of exactly what happened.
I was kind of hoping that we would have got like a 10-7 in that round, but that was not going to fucking happen.
Maybe he shored up that bad defense in the Zombie fight, or also maybe I'm just not seeing something that Zombie was doing to land right. But the cardio now is a question. So for me, there's still questions about him. Like, he'll be he's top 5, top 10, cool. But can he really break into the title contention? I don't see it just yet. He's got to fix some stuff. But he's young and he can do it easily.
That is kind of the future of the division, though. Like, those couple guys. Like, I'm trying to think of like the other people sitting up in the rankings there. There's nobody else really coming up that you're like.
After 2 rounds, if you want to be the top, if you want to be a champion in any weight class in the UFC anymore.
Like, 9 through 15 is a little bit tough. You know what I mean? You got Jeremy Stevens, who's always going to hang around that area. Josh Emmett, who didn't he just get finished? I feel like he just lost. I feel like Josh Emmett just lost.
He beat Michael Johnson, and then he came back and...
Oh, he knocked out Mirsad Bektik.
Oh yeah, he finished.
So he finished. He actually finished back there, and then before that, he finished Johnson, and then before that was Jeremy Stevens. Okay, so he's building a little bit of momentum. You know, a win over Mirsad Bektik is actually.
But you know what? One thing about Emmett though, he just relies on that one punch.
Yeah, because he was losing that Michael Johnson fight too. Right now, he's kind of getting
lucky he got lucky within the Johnson fight. I think even with the Bektik fight, he just cracked him hard.
Qatar doesn't seem like he's going to be able to cut it. You know, losing that fight to Zabit, like. You think he'll probably reach like the 6 or 7 mark, but he's never going to get over that hump. And it might be stylistically for him too. Like, he might have success against a guy like Brian Ortega. Like, if he's able to keep the fight on the feet and just soundly outbox him.
I think Kattar can make it because
it depends on the matchups.
He looked good in that 3rd round. He started to come back, so...
Almost everybody looks good against Zabit in that 3rd round.
He's at least got the cardio.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's got that done. Maybe make a couple of adjustments and he could have taken the second round.
Zabit's so lucky that fight was the 5-rounder.
He's so lucky.
So lucky. Gets bumped to a main event and still holds a 3-round status.
I don't know, like, I thought that was stupid.
He got fucked twice.
No, but...
Fight was supposed to happen in Boston, doesn't happen. Then he has to fly all the way to Russia and to fight the same guy, and, you know, you're in a main event spot. You have all the opportunity to go 5 rounds, and Zabit's like, nah, it's cool. I trained 3 rounds for this fight. And he had plenty of notice, too. I think he had at least a month and a half notice.
It's bullshit. I wouldn't have taken that fight. I would have been like, no, what the hell? Why are you changing? Now you want to move to your home country and you want to make it 3 rounds? It's just like they wanted all the compromise. Like, you have to do all the compromising. Fuck no.
But yeah, like, again, outside of them, like we said, Stevens, Journeyman, Josh Emmett, kind of on the up and up, but it's not really going to seem like he's going to flourish into any type of champion. Calvin Qatar, maybe up there. Shane Burgos could start to string together a couple wins, but I don't think he's going to be top up there either. Mirsad Bektik keeps running into guys. You know what I mean? He was like so highly touted a couple of years ago. Ryan Hall, you know, that guy, I don't think he's going to be a champion. Great jiu-jitsu, but
the problem with Hall is
he doesn't fight enough either.
The problem with but that's the UFC's fault. They don't like booking him. He's always ready to fight, apparently. They just don't like him. They don't like his style. It's not fun.
I didn't. That's the first I'm hearing about that.
You're not hearing? You didn't hear?
I thought it was just more so he didn't want to fight. Like he's just picking and choosing.
I think he said
fights.
he was like, I was ready, I was waiting, but they weren't getting. I don't like his style is not entertaining because he flops to his back a lot, and then guys don't follow him there.
Yeah,
and then it just turns into that. But he's winning. Like blame the other guys for not coming into his guard. He's giving you a dominant position technically. So yeah, that's the problem with Ryan Hall is I don't see him getting to the top simply because the UFC probably won't let him unless he changes his style.
And then number 15, Arnold Allen.
That's a good prospect, though.
Decent prospect.
He needs to fight a little more.
Yeah.
Has he fought since the Melendez win, which was like how long ago?
I feel like he's fought.
That was the last. Oh no, yeah, no. I think he did fight recently. He won again.
No, Melendez. Unless UFC.com is fucking around.
Actually, yeah, maybe you're right. I don't remember Arnold Allen coming back after that Melendez win.
I feel like he was booked. I feel like he was booked.
Maybe he was booked. Okay. Here
we go. Tapology. Educate us. If you fucking load. But the point I'm trying to make is that featherweight is not as deep as I initially thought. I don't know what it is, but it's just not there anymore. Bantamweight is much more impressive and much more fun to watch. There's so many fun matchups that we can make off of that.
It's because a lot of top featherweights, like, they kind of fell off. Like, Cub got old, Lamas as well. So it kind of... And then Oliveira left the division, so it did kind of thin out a bit.
Let's see.
Yeah, he was
So he's scheduled to fight Josh Emmett, actually. That's not bad.
Oh, then. There we go. When was the Melendez fight?
July of this year.
What?
Yeah, July 2019.
That was just in July?
Yeah, that was Melendez's last fight before they cut him.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, 239.
It feels like that fight was a year and a half ago. I was going to say at least a year since that. July.
But Melendez, it was a while since he had fought.
Yeah, but still, I remember that fight and it feels like it's been forever. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with it. Okay.
Yeah, because even before the Arnold Allen fight, the last time Melendez fought was 2017 against Jeremy Stevens. So he was off for a little bit before he came back. One thing I wanted to show you is I came up with like a proposed schedule to move forward with the bantamweights, considering Henry Cejudo just recently got stripped of his title, right? So we have a little bit more clarity in terms of what's his face is going to do, what Cejudo's going to do. Let me pull that up real quick. I forgot. It was 4 fights that I thought were perfect. I just want to get your opinion on it. I tweeted a lot last night because I was watching the fights all fucking night. Where are these fights? Here it is. So Cejudo Sterling for the title.
Okay.
Fine with that. Sandhagen versus Moraes.
Yeah, I like that
right?
fight.
Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. I get that we like to match winners against winners, and Aldo's coming off a loss here, but I think he has an exception with his name value, and for Peter Yan to have a guy like Jose Aldo under his belt would add to his reputation and his value a little bit more. Aldo had a competitive. It didn't look.
You know what?
He had a competitive fight against Moraes. He showed that he can perform at 135 pounds. So why not let Peter Yan get a victory?
So with those 2 fights, I'd flip them. Sandhagen, Aldo, Moraes, Yan. That's what I think is better for the division because Yan wants to move up. Marlon is still ranked 1. Sandhagen is on the up and up. He could probably use a name like Aldo on his record a little more. And he lost the Edgar one.
If I'm not mistaken. I think Aldo was ranked higher than Sandhagen at this point.
They actually ranked him.
Oh, no. Sorry. He's number 9. Yeah, he's number 9.
They ranked him at number 9?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough, even if you come off a split loss. But yeah.
You think Sandhagen...
think about it from Sandhagen's point of view. He just lost a name in Edgar. Let's make up for it.
Moraes
Give him another name. He's not as big a name as Jose Aldo, like you said. And I think for someone who's coming up in the division, even though you're fighting back, that's a big name. Yan, it feels like he already got that name with Faber. He's on a killer streak. He should fight up. I think he should be...
He should fight Moraes?
He's way closer to a title fight than Sandhagen, so I think he should get the number 1 contender. So I would flip those. Sandhagen, Aldo, and Moraes.
The funny thing is the 4th matchup that I had suggested was Font versus Munoz 2. Why not let Font get that one back? And a lot of people are saying that they should switch Font for Aldo or Munoz for Aldo. But I don't see that.
I think
I would rather see Yan fight either Aldo or I wouldn't mind Moraes. One of those two. And then
I like Sandhagen Aldo.
I don't know. I think it's also entertainment and value.
Fair
entertainment
enough.
wise, Aldo versus Yan would be some shit. That'd be a great fight. I still take Yan to win that fight, but that would be a phenomenal fight in my opinion.
Yeah, because they would be more in their face, whereas Marlon might get in his back a bit, but then Yan will get in his face and make him fight too.
I think Yan's the uncrowned champ.
I would favor Yan against Moraes or Aldo, actually. Now that I fucking think about it,
I think he's uncrowned champ right now, man. Like,
he's an animal. And he's so young and only getting better.
I know.
Like, you need to fight him now before he gets him. And he's fucking that Russian killer. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I'm glad that we finally got the clarity with Cejudo's issue. And now that they're teeing up Joseph Benavidez against Davison Figueiredo for the title.
Fun matchup-wise, I agree with you. But if I'm looking at division and what benefits who and all that, I would flip Sandhagen, Aldo, and Moraes. But if you're just looking at entertainment value, then yeah.
Aldo versus Yan. I'm fine with either matchup. Like, I do agree in your aspect with Moraes and Yan.
But I get what you're saying too, yeah. It still does benefit Yan to get a win over Aldo. So
I think
cool,
either opponent for either guy makes sense.
Yeah. Those four somehow match them up, yeah.
Because all four of those guys gain value, gain a reputation, gain momentum to get a victory over the other guy that they're fighting. 100%. So I'm completely okay with that. But
even Moraes sitting at 1. But yeah, sorry, you made a point.
Let's flip to flyweight. So
I was just about to say, you said about flyweight.
Benavidez, Figueiredo, top 3 right now is number 1 Benavidez, number 3 is Davison, and number 2 is Formiga. Who beat Figueiredo?
If I'm the UFC, and as an MMA fan, I like the flyweights. If I'm the UFC though, why am I keeping this division around?
That was my main thing. A lot of people
from a
business
business standpoint, why?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You look at the top 5. Hold on.
Here, let me. There we go.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Okay. So Benavidez, if Cejudo and DJ are not around, he's probably going to be king.
Yeah.
Formiga, we've already seen him lose to all the top guys. He lost to Dodson. He lost to Benavidez. He's lost to.
He's beat Figueiredo.
Yeah, but he just held him. It wasn't even that fun. And now Figueiredo is coming off, what, 1 rebound win after getting dominated or held down by Formiga. Now he gets a title fight. Like, that's how weak the division is. Pantoja, number 4. I mean...
Who did Figueiredo beat?
Like, okay, the top 5 feels like it should be the bottom 5 of the top 10. Where are the actual top? You know what I mean? Like, we're missing...
I want to figure out who the fuck Davison just beat. Who did he beat?
I don't fucking know.
I know he won a fight, but who? Tim Elliott?
Pantoja.
No, Elliott. He beat Elliott.
Oh,
he did beat Pantoja. Oh, yeah. So he lost to Formiga, then beat Pantoja, then beat Elliott.
Oh, he beat Elliott too. I thought he was coming off 1 rebound win.
2 wins.
Okay, cool. But I mean, we don't have DJ anymore. We don't have Cejudo. We don't have Sergio Pettis. Like
this was my argument in terms of
is just
keeping Cejudo as a champ. He is the most talked about flyweight champ of all time. There's only been 2, obviously, but he is definitely making more of an impact, more noise, drawing more eyeballs, drawing more Twitter followers, whatever the fuck it is, strictly off of all the cringe shit that he's doing. I know it's a little bit over the top, but we did not talk about DJ as much as we're talking about Cejudo. And the fact that you have a champ now at this status, you can sell him more. I would have been completely okay if they did Benavidez against Figueiredo for an interim title. Let's keep the division going. Let's get these guys paid a little bit more because that's all that they want, right? The title signifies a higher pay.
But okay, I would go with that too. However, you're
just saying completely axe the division. Is that what?
No. What the problem with what you said is Cejudo will never go back down. So why even put interim on it if we know he's never going to come back down?
That's the thing.
If he's just searching for money fights and now he's a 135 champ and flyweight looks like that, what money fight do you have at flyweight? You're going to be taking pay cuts to cut an extra 10 pounds. The only way he goes back to flyweight is if he gets his ass whooped at least 2 times at bantamweight. Then it's time to go back down and just dominate flyweight.
I could see him, even if he loses the title at 135, go back to 125.
Yeah, okay.
Because he has a tough time against a lot of those guys at 135.
Even Moraes, that was like a 10-8 first round. He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Aldo did way better than Cejudo did in the first round when Moraes was fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, if you don't have a guy like Moraes who folds under pressure, is he really going to win that fight against any of these other top bantamweights? So
Peter Yan would light his ass up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Right?
I definitely think so too.
I think we're on the same page there. Corey Sandhagen would have a decent time, I think. Yeah, it really comes down to who Cejudo fights first, and I think Sterling is probably. I'm not saying the safest, but probably the most beneficial for him to take.
And you won't probably get hurt badly in that fight.
Yeah, so I don't know who I would take in that fight. Like I'd lean Cejudo, but Aljo's been looking great. He's going to be the stronger guy here.
You know what?
I think MMA wrestling might get nullified here.
I would lean Aljo because Cejudo was getting pieced up, and yes, he started to come back in the second and third round against Moraes, but that's just because he's like, fuck it, I'll just eat your shots and walk you down and use my toughness. I think
Sterling could.
Sterling's not going to fucking play that game. Sterling's going to use his lankiness. He's going to keep him away and keep circling. He'll probably do it for 5 rounds, no problem. Yeah. And then the grappling's probably going to be a wash. I don't think it's going to get there. Cejudo's not going to take him down and finish him on the ground like he did Moraes, who was folding. So when you look at it that way, I kind of favor Sterling. And if I'm Sterling, I'm like, please give me that fight right now. Please, please, please.
You got to wonder how much the kicking is going to open up the takedown game for Cejudo too, though. Right? You want to kick to keep him outside, but you're also giving him...
Man, grappling with Sterling...
It's tough. It's going to be tough. I'm not saying it's easy for Cejudo, but Cejudo is still a very credentialed grappler himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't... Okay, he hasn't been... Sorry, based on his credentials... His MMA wrestling doesn't seem to translate as much, right? Like if you look at it on
I think
paper,
it's like a Phil Davis, Rashad Evans type of thing. Where Phil Davis might have a better resume, but he's not able to translate over to MMA.
Exactly.
And Cejudo's main thing ever since he's come to the UFC has mainly been striking.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't really use his wrestling that much, and it doesn't feel like it translates as well. Like he looks like a good wrestler, but then when you hear he's like Olympic level, you're like, I don't see that when I'm watching. What the fuck?
It's tough.
On?
It's tough for them to make that transition. There's a lot of fighters that have failed to make that transition.
Yeah, because they have habits that they use in wrestling.
They're not used to getting punched while they're trying to take fucking...
You're not getting punched, right? If I'm just holding on and then the guy's elbowing me in the head, this is a new component, right? To takedowns. Even Yoel, one thing I realized after a while was
he doesn't shoot that much.
Not only that though, one thing I noticed with Yoel, he's not that great at holding guys down. And I realized after, I think, what kind of fucking wrestling did he do? But it was more about getting the takedown and exploding. It's not really about keeping the guy down.
Oh.
So he doesn't seem to have that skill set. Like he can get you down, but in terms of really controlling you and keeping you there, he doesn't seem to have that great skill there. So there's so many different things, right? There's different types of wrestling too.
Yeah. I'm happy that they are moving on with either division because definitely the flyweight division definitely needs it. Let's be real. Like they need a little bit of light, especially with Cejudo holding them up there. Having somebody as a champion now that can remain a little bit more active, I'm okay with that. They're going to have to build... here's another part though, actually. When Demetrius Johnson was champion, there was such a huge gap between him and number 2. But I think that now that these fights might be a little bit more competitive, there is a little bit more possible positives that come out of having a new champion. Somebody that's not Cejudo. Or I think even if it was Cejudo, we might be able to see a little bit more of a competitive matchup with him and Benavidez. That could spark a little bit more juice into the flyweight division. I think what we were missing with DJ was the lack of competition and him just being so far ahead of everybody else. I think once we see these fights and that they're going to be a lot closer, like Schnell versus Pantoja was a fun fucking fight, even though I went one round, right? Schnell had a lot of good moments in that fight, and then Pantoja comes back and absolutely deads him. Moreno's making a little bit of a resurgence. He looked good against Kai France.
Here's the thing, though. All that's a moot point if the UFC does not put some fucking marketing into this goddamn division.
I think this is their start.
Hardcores,
this is their start. Like, but this is they're like, okay.
That's a hardcore perspective, though. And I'm on board with you, but nobody gives a fuck. Really, nobody gives a fuck.
Yes.
Even if so, Benavidez is probably going to win that fight. Benavidez is what, 36, 37, and we've seen him lose to DJ twice, getting deaded. He's not that compelling of a champion at the time.
I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion that Benavidez is going to win this fight. He should be favored to win the fight.
Which is kind of a problem when it's Figueiredo who just got handled by Formiga. Like, these guys look too beatable to be the title.
But that's what I mean. Now things are going to look... You don't have anybody to compare it to. You don't have a DJ anymore.
That's a good point. But on the inverse now, it just makes your division look shittier. Because then your champions don't look as, like, pristine. You know what I mean? Because it's like, eh.
Like, Pantoja, Moreno... are exciting
good fighters. Good fighters.
I'm trying to say exciting and entertaining. Guys that people would want to fight.
Yeah,
Benavidez has his on and off days where he'll have an entertaining fight. Davison Figueiredo, he can make things... It all comes down to how these fights actually play out. Are they going to look
and the promotion
fun to watch? The promotion, I want to see...
like, Come on, UFC. Get DJ back in there. Go over to fucking Asia. They have some crazy small fighters over there. Yeah. Let's get some guys signed. Let's actually get
that Kaya Sakura guy that's been knocking everybody out.
Yeah, he fucking knocked out Horiguchi. He's the first guy to beat Horiguchi since DJ did it like 12 fights ago.
He dusted Aoka Sasaki, who's a UFC vet. Not the greatest, but fucking absolutely murked him too.
After murking Horiguchi, which is huge. Like, let's get these guys in there who are exciting, small dudes who will go for knockouts.
Yeah,
you can start to build this division back up. Let's get a real top 15, not after 10. Who we're just is the division even 15 guys? I think the division's only like 12
I remember there's a certain
guys.
point where it was like 12.
It was like 12.
Like
you don't even have a full.
They got full 15.
Okay, they got a 15 now. Great.
Benoit just got murked by who did he fight?
That Adelenga, whatever. Today.
Oh, Haile Alateng.
Split decision.
Yeah.
But apparently he legit lost. Like
Haile Alateng won that fight. He definitely won that fight.
Okay.
Oh, he won that fight.
Benoit's just a power guy, though. He comes out hard in the first. If he can't knock you out, he generally loses.
It looks like they're headlining a fight night with Benavidez and Figueiredo. That's what it looks like. ESPN plus 27. It's going down in Norfolk. But a part of me thought it was like a pay-per-view co-main event. That's what I thought it was going to be.
I was going to say,
I didn't know what card it was on.
Unless it's with another title fight, which, honestly, I don't like them headlining with that on a fight night. They should put that as a co-main or a third title fight down on a big card. Put it on a big fucking card.
It does devalue it.
Let's push it.
Is that the perspective that you're coming from? Is that making it a fight night title fight main event? It devalues it. Is that what you're trying to say?
No. To get more eyes on it. Put it on a big pay-per-view. Maybe have it.
I wouldn't even mind it as an ESPN main card main event.
Have it as the co-main to Adesanya Romero. Something like that. Or maybe put another title. No, that's too much. You can't have 3 title fights. So
I think that the easiest way to promote them would be ESPN, big ESPN main event. That's the way you're going to get possibility of the most eyeballs, just because it's on cable or whatever the fuck it is, right? It's on ESPN's regular thing.
Here's the thing, right? Yeah, okay, I get that argument of it drawing eyeballs, but then also if it's just a fight night says I shouldn't care about this. So doesn't that take away a lot of eyes too?
That's the point I was trying to make before. If you got a big event,
we have friends who are casuals who talk about only the big events coming up. Yeah. They don't know anything about a fight night card, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like how I know pay-per-view you'll get less eyes because they have to order it.
Yeah.
But if there's buzz around the event, it still feels like your name gets out there a little more than if it's a fight night on more available to more people.
I kind of thought that was going to be their strategy with Macy Barber, because she's fighting on the same card as Connor, but she's on the prelims. She's on the prelims.
But is it the headline of the prelims?
That could be the difference here. So let's confirm that.
Not even.
But the card that I saw that they put out, it didn't look like she was on the main card.
Okay, just a quick little aside though. For anyone who thinks that if you fight on the prelims, it's not as good as fighting on the main card, the main event of the prelims is a higher spot than the first 2 fights on the main card. I would argue, 100%.
Yeah.
So
more often than not, the guys that are headlining the prelims would take up the first 2 spots on the pay-per-view card.
It's a lead-in. It's supposed to be a bigger fight. Sometimes the first fight on the main card is like 2 heavyweights you've never heard of.
Yeah.
And then like the prelim one is like number 3 versus number 5 in bantamweight. Like what the fuck?
Even the Korea card actually was decent because there's a little bit of hype behind Cyril Gane. He had a decent performance against Tanner Boser. I don't know if you watched that.
I thought that was a good performance because it showed that he can go 3 rounds.
He went. That's the thing.
And he's gone 3 rounds. Slow down.
He went 3 rounds in his last fight against Dontel Mays, and then finished the guy with the
with the heel hook,
with like 13
his
seconds
cardio
left.
seems to be good.
That's kind of what I was like. I put a little bit of a bet on Boser at plus 530. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
As I was watching the fight, I remember your bet, and I was like, okay, Cyril Gane is going to win this fight. However, at those odds, that was 100%
ridiculous. Minus 800
100%
for a 5-0 fighter against a guy that's like 22 fight veteran, fought all over the world.
And how much experience does he have?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and when you're watching the fight, it did feel like Boser could clip him at any second. Like it didn't feel. It felt like he was definitely losing, but it didn't feel like he had no chance of winning at any given moment.
For me, it was more so I thought that Tanner Boser was going to be able to implement his leg kicks a little bit more, and chop away and maybe get rounds 2 and 3.
Okay, yeah,
that didn't end up happening. Yo, he's finished a guy with leg kicks in the past. Up in round 4, yeah.
Oh shit!
In round 4, he finished a guy with leg kicks.
He landed a couple, and they looked heavy as fuck.
I thought he was going to be more on it.
He should have definitely been on it.
Speaking of leg kicks, actually, Alexander Rakic, did you see that? The hematoma. I've never seen a hematoma in that spot.
He had a knee growing below his knee.
Yeah.
I was like, what
I've
the
never
first
fucking
Dan
seen
Hardy
that.
said it, and I'm like, what's he talking about? Because like he was fighting orthodox and the camera was this side, so you couldn't see it. And then they rotated him. I'm like, oh shit, he's got a giant hematoma there. But then Ozdemir didn't kick it that much after that. It didn't feel like he did that much after that. Like round 3, how many times did he throw a leg kick?
But also, is it... my question is, how much is it actually hurting compared to aesthetically how it looks? What's the like we know hematoma is just a clump of like fluid and shit, right?
Yeah, it's more aesthetic. Yeah.
It's not like, oh, he is absolutely compromised.
Yeah.
You should be fucking like, remember Mark Hominick having that fucking brain growing out of his brain against Jose Aldo? Yeah. That's the craziest hematoma I've seen. This one is slightly more grotesque just because I've never seen that before. I've never seen
this one was bigger,
there.
but that one looked bad because it was like it made his face look like an alien. Harmonic already kind of has like an alien-shaped head, and then you got this happening. It's like good.
That was crazy. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Rakic and Ozdemir because we're going to cover that in the deciding splits. Let's talk about actually the moving forward now. Let's not talk about the fact that it was a controversial decision. We have Ozdemir as the winner.
Let's go with the result.
Yeah,
the result is what it is.
Ozdemir is the winner. Rakic comes up short. Fuck do we do now? Like I was fully expecting Alexander Rakic to win this fight, mix it up in the light heavyweight division.
I know we said we won't talk about it. He probably should have. He probably should have won. It seems,
but they're probably going to treat it as like a loss in terms of who they match him up with against next. But I'm completely okay with this.
He gets one quick finish though in his rebound fight, and he's already right back.
Stocks right back.
When you lose a split like that,
I think it's perfectly laid out though. You got Thiago Santos waiting around in the wings. You got Anthony Smith waiting around in the wings. Match both of those guys up with one of those two.
I like it.
So we've already gotten Smith and Ozdemir.
Ozdemir,
so let's do Santos, Ozdemir, and then Smith, Rakic.
Here's the thing. With that. I like that, but it seems like it's a lock. We're probably going to get Smith and Teixeira.
Is that happening?
I mean, Smith wants him, and maybe the UFC just goes, you know what, just fucking go.
I guess
headline a Brazil event on a fight night.
What this fight was supposed to do for Rakic was actually add to his name value, and I think the fact that he's coming out with a loss here, it's going to devalue him in most people's eyes. I
don't like Rakic getting Smith because that is him losing, even though maybe he should have won. That's him losing and then jumping up. He's right, like. Maybe, okay, you fought the gatekeeper in Ozdemir, and it was clear that you're not quite ready for the top of the division right now. Fight someone maybe 6 through 10 to get a nice little rebound. You know what I mean? Look impressive again. Get a Manua type finish. Maybe.
Is Gustafsson coming back? He talked about a comeback.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Why not Gustafsson?
But Gus is like, dude, like fight or don't. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that.
He still has a name. That's all that he has.
Yeah, I know. But he fights like once every year or two, and.
Johnny Walker against Walker's has a
got
fight.
A rebound fight. Doesn't he have it booked? Or there was talks of a fight?
I feel like he has somebody booked actually. Play around with the mic as much as you want, dude. Yeah. there's no serious professionalism here. We're just going with the flow, rolling with the punches.
That's always been my problem. Is I keep moving off to the side, and then people can't
do what
hear.
You gotta do. Nikita Krylov, March 14th.
That's a good
fight.
So
those guys are booked. That's a fine matchup. That's a good fight
for Walker to get another highlight.
I wouldn't mind seeing Rakic if he wants to sit out this while. The loser of Blachowicz and Anderson.
For who?
For Rakic.
The loser of Blachowicz and okay. You know what? Where are the rankings?
Number 1, Thiago Santos, who should probably fight Volkan Ozdemir next.
Show me 6 through 10. Okay, we got Glover. Volkan's going to move up.
Glover's
Rakic
9.
Is 10.
Glover's 9. 6 is Blachowicz. 7 is Gustafsson.
You know what? I don't mind that. Right? I don't mind that.
It just depends on how long he wants to sit out, because I think that fight's in March.
Because most likely it'll be Blachowicz. I think Anderson wins that fight again.
Mm-hmm.
Anderson's only gotten better. He's younger than Blachowicz, and he already handled him the first time.
When is that fight? February 15th. So that's not too far off. Rakic can sit back, chill for a bit, heal up.
It was a tough fight, though. It was a good test. Like, Ozdemir is that guy you need to, like, that's your gauge, is to see where you're at in the division when you fight a guy like him.
My guy Newsom works really closely with Rakic and his team and his management team. They have like some partnership stuff. And one thing he kept telling me about is, his head kick is nasty. It's next level.
Yeah, we seen that.
We saw that. Jimmy Manuwa. We saw that.
His soul left his body, yeah.
Didn't see it once in this fight.
Maybe he just couldn't set it up properly. I guess Ozdemir was shutting him down, maybe.
I thought you would have some sort of game plan to throw combinations in the first round and a half or so that's going to make Ozdemir start to float off to the right side or the left side, whichever kick that I think it was left kick that he wants to land. So to make him try to float to that side more and then just punch him into the kick. But 15 minutes goes by and no head kick. I was like,
after watching Luke Thomas's Morning Combat Dissected,
yeah,
I just feel like there's always shit I'm just not seeing. So that's why I kind of want to see the breakdown to see like maybe Ozdemir was just doing something that we didn't notice that was stopping him from doing a head kick.
That could be it too.
Yeah, like I've heard that a lot. Like it's like, why isn't he doing that? And then you see a breakdown like, oh, okay, it was actually being shut down. I just couldn't see it.
One thing that was very evident in the fight too, though, is that Rakic was a lot quicker than him too. He was landing a lot of shots and getting out of the way.
Ozdemir was landing, if anything, the harder shots, but Rakic was out voluming him, especially in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, and then having obviously Rakic on the back foot for a little bit didn't seem to sway the judges as much. I think that's, again, I don't want to get into the decision, but it's just the way that they were fighting that kind of like Rakic could have easily won that fight.
It wasn't a good look that he started to fade, though, in the third. It was pretty clear he was fading.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. You got to be able to go 3 rounds hard.
I know you're not the most familiar with Rakic, but this is probably like the first like legitimate fight that you've watched of his, other than the Jimmy Manuwa knockout, the Devin Clark finish. I don't know if you've even seen that one.
I didn't see the Devin Clark finish, and I think I saw his fight before that.
Justin Ledet. Did you see that fight?
I might have seen that.
I think that's the fight that I've always been telling you to watch, which is like Cain Velasquez, Justin Ledet. I think he got 30-24s in that fight. Like absolutely murked him.
I remember watching it, but I don't remember anything about it anymore.
I am absolutely impressed with Volkan Ozdemir's takedown defense. I thought that Rakic was going to have more success with the takedown. When he was, I think he only landed 1, if that.
Ozdemir looks like dense, very heavy and dense.
Yeah.
Like hard to move.
There's a lot of times where Rakic had his back and he had like the over-under, and it seemed like he was trying to like drag him to the ground, and he was going to the ground, but not Volkan. Volkan was still like staying up.
Yeah, but
I was very surprised.
Even to that point, it was like Ozdemir wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even worried. Like Rakic would get in deep and he just kind of like, okay, or whatever. Yeah. Like it wasn't even like a threat, like, oh shit, whoa, no. It was just, okay. Like he was so solid, he couldn't move him almost enough to actually get his ass down. But
I'm kind of bummed that Ozdemir got the win here, just because like, I don't really want to see him contend for a title again. I think John Jones murks him. I think obviously DC's still up there, but we'll have to see what happens with Reyes and Jones. Have you seen the food truck with him yet?
Yeah,
not bad. You know what I mean? Like
I would have liked if Shab pressed him a bit about the the Ozdemir fight. Yeah, I actually scored it for Reyes, but they kind of just skimmed through it like, yeah, so I won that fight. And then I'm like, ask him about it, man. Like, did you feel like you won that fight? Let's talk about that fight a little more. That's the thing about
that show, though. I think that Shab just lets it go where it fucking goes. There's no real, okay, there's an agenda to talk about this fight. He's even talks about it. He goes, we're just going to talk.
I just haven't heard
anything about football for fucking 10 minutes.
I just haven't heard anything about it, though. That's why I kind of wish that they didn't just skim over it. Like, if it came up in topic, that's what I mean. Don't bring it up, but it came up, so let's talk about it a bit. I want to see what he says about that fight. Like, I don't know. I just want to hear what he has to say about that fight.
If he thinks he lost. He's never going to say if he thinks he lost the fight.
I actually thought he won. That's the funny part. I actually think he won. There's a lot of controversy over it, but I gave him 2 and 3.
I was looking at MMA decisions, and the vast majority of people actually thought Volkan won.
I know that. Yeah, I saw that. But
I know you're in even Aldo Moraes. Fucking the majority's from Aldo.
I know.
I'm like, what?
But I thought when we rewatched that third round, it was kind of.
It's evident. You got to watch it again. You got to watch it a little bit closer. So I get it.
The better shots. Yeah. I think it's just Aldo. People like Aldo better than Moraes. So if it's going to be close, then there's always a little bit of bias there. And the plotting forward.
I'm not with that.
Man, Moraes was hitting him.
Yeah.
Anyways, that fight's done.
Charles motherfucking Jourdain looked a little bit sketchy for him in the first round.
Good call for you on the underdog play. I didn't think so. He was getting lit up a bit in the first, but this is okay.
Choi is still gonna fucking stand there and bang with you.
This is the problem. Okay, so
that's the problem.
This fight for me wasn't really about how good Jourdain looked. It was about Do Ho Choi. Sorry. What the fuck is going on? Get better. Like, why? It feels like you've had 3 ass whoopings in a row. There were 2 to top guys. Okay, fair enough. But when he comes back again, he's too easy to hit. In the Cub fight, way too easy to hit. In the Stevens, he comes out looking amazing in that first round. Then, as soon as guys start to pressure him a bit, he gets hit a lot very easily.
He hasn't. I saw a statistic out there. He hasn't won a fight in the UFC that hasn't gotten past the first round.
Yeah, and even in the fights that he's lost, he's won the first round in all these fights too against top guys. Cub Swanson, Jeremy Stevens, those are top guys to get that first round against. But then after, it just feels like he doesn't move his head. Like that seems to be his problem. He just eats shots way too easily. There's a huge drop in
his striking defense come that second round.
Yeah, man, you gotta shore this up.
Hitting him even in the first round. He landed a couple good shots and
can't be getting knocked out by a guy like Jourdain when.
Actually, how did you score that first round, Troy?
That's what was interesting because I know Jourdain clipped him at the end
and dropped him
and had him down. But I think overall, if you look at the damage from the beginning part,
Choi
also dropped him and probably landed more.
Did he drop him or he rocked him numerous times? He never dropped him.
I mean, he shook
but he never actually took a seat.
But when he got dropped, he was immediately defending. So you could say that the wobbling is way almost worse, in terms of how hurt the guy is.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking when the round ended, I'm like, maybe that could be a draw because Choi won more dominantly the first part, but then towards the end he really got fucked up. So I would probably lean Choi, but wouldn't be upset with even a draw in that first round.
I felt like I was too biased to judge that fight just because I had money on Jourdain.
Yeah,
so I'm I'm just going to stay out of this. But thinking about it now, I would probably lean towards more so a Choi round if you're forcing me to pick a side.
Yeah, I think so too. But man, you gotta shore up these holes, man. You gotta stop getting hit so fucking.
You know
easily.
how high I was on this guy when he first came into the UFC, just wrecked
even after the
Tavares.
Cup fight. That seemed like a good learning fight to me. After the Cup fight, I'm like, this is your fight where you learn that lesson now and you come back like a monster. And then it's like the Stevens fight. You're like, okay, the first round, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's come back. He's looking good.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Fuck, he got fucked up. Okay, let's not give him a monster. Let's give him someone ranked a little lower and let him build back up. You know the lessons you got to learn. They did that, and he still gets knocked out. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of off the train now. You got to get better, dude.
I really like Charles. It's one guy I've been following since his amateur days. Literally, when I used to go to Montreal, remember with Grants?
Oh, you know about this guy from back then. Okay. I just heard about him on short notice against Desmond Green. That's the only thing I know about him.
Him and his brother were top shit at the promotion that we always used to go to and watch in Kanawaki, Quebec. It was Native Reserves. That's the only place to amateur fights. What's up?
Did you know that Alex Reyes is Dominic Reyes' brother?
I've already given him shit about this before. As much of a fan as you are, you should already fucking know that.
I didn't fucking know that. Dude. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Watching Food Truck Diaries? My brother was there. I'm like, oh, that was the guy that Mike Perry wrecked? This guy's older brother? What the fuck?
You're the worst, dude. You're the fucking worst.
You were talking about Jourdain.
No,
Jourdain. On the regional circuit.
Yeah, regional scene, he looked fucking like a monster. He was going out there obliterating guys, looking amazing. And it seemed like they were really pushing him. And they were kind of lucky because that's around the time when he turned pro, him and his brother turned pro, that's when TKO started to make a comeback. And that's when they started putting on shows again. And they used Charles and Louis, his brother, and there's another guy, TJ Laramie, as the main future stars that they're trying to use to push the TKO brand. And Charles's only loss, other than Desmond Green, is to TJ Laramie, who is his own kind of wrecking force on the scene. He's this kid from Windsor, very fucking great wrestler, great overall game. They fought in a title fight, and Laramie beat him in a decision. Win all 5 rounds, very fun, entertaining fight. And then Laramie lost to a guy named Alex Morgan for the title. Alex Morgan lost the belt to Charles Jourdain. And Charles Jourdain was a champion.
So they got a little triangle.
A little bit of a triangle going on there. So, Laramie couldn't get past Morgan, and now Jourdain is ending up champion and coming into the UFC. Came in on a super short notice against Desmond Green. Up a weight class.
That was lightweight, yeah.
Up a weight class. And still held his own. He didn't get taken down to his takedown defense looked pretty fucking good.
I don't remember the fight. I don't even think I watched it.
A lot of people thought that Des Green was just going to go out there and wrestle fuck this kid. He did a lot better than, I think he was a plus 400, plus 500 dog going into that fight as well. And then in this fight, I'm like, yo, this is kind of teed up for him. And if you looked at his Instagram as well, dude, the guy came in shape. He was training really fucking hard. And I know this guy's mentality in terms of he wouldn't take this fight if he truly didn't believe he could win it. And especially make a splash while at it too. You're going to this guy's backyard. You're going against a guy who is highly touted to be top 3 in the division. Go out there and knock his ass out. Are you kidding me? That's fucking insane. It couldn't have worked out better for him too. I love his post-fight speech too.
I didn't
50G. He goes, oh, Dana, can I get that 50G so I can move out of my mom's basement? He got the fight of the night. So
it's such a bad look for the sport when you got your fucking professional fighters talking.
Second fight in the
that.
UFC. Don't mind that. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I that's cool, but I generally hate when guys are like, give me the 50.
I know.
Whether
That's
you
so
say it
cringe.
or not, it doesn't fucking affect who they're giving it to. They're going to look at the results of the card. Relax. Like, stop.
I absolutely agree with that. I think John Anik always hammers on it too.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Don't
Such
ask
a bad
for the 50
look.
Gs.
Don't do it.
Don't look.
In fact, if I'm the UFC, I'm gonna be like, okay, if someone has if someone has even an equal finish to you, they're getting it now.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, don't fucking do that shit. All right, but either way, that was a solid win.
I like that he
came
splashed. I like that he splashed onto the scene like that because he just establishes himself right at the top now too. Not at the top.
That's the advantage of knowing guys when they're on the regional circuit because
you can take advantage of these situations.
That's how you take. This is like an arbitrage profit opportunity with betting odds.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, it's like...
That's what I kind of thought I was going to have the advantage with the Bozer bet too. Because Ghana is another guy that came from TKO. Pretty much all of his fights before the UFC were at TKO. Yeah. And these guys were supposed to fight in TKO against each other.
Oh, okay.
They were actually... Because Bozer was on the regional Canadian scene. He fought a lot in the ACB over in Russia. So he fought a lot of Russians too. But he was a guy from the West Coast that they were going to bring into TKO to fight Ghana. And I thought that's where I was going to get the edge there too. But yeah, watching these guys from like way below, like even the guy... Dude... I'm not even going to say anything about that, but Ergis Segura, another guy that I have that at the gym that I used to work at, literally signed this kid up to the gym. The only experience he had before he signed up to the gym was wrestling in high school.
Oh, wow.
And now he's come in, undefeated on the amateur scene, now 4-0 as a pro. He's about to fight again, and I think he's fighting in Burlington. I'm not 100% sure. Fighting in Burlington in February. When you see these guys and you see them right from the get-go and you know that, especially if wrestling is their fucking background, I love to hop on these guys right off the get-go.
Yeah, when they're jumping in the UFC on short notice with like plus 500 odds because nobody knows them, that's when you got to take advantage of that shit.
And stylistically, this was the perfect fight. A guy that you expect Doo Ho Choi to make those adjustments to have the better striking defense, to not go out there and brawl like that. But you're still going to take the shot at plus 250. I got it at plus 252. It got to close to plus to 300 by the time the fight actually happened. People were just completely writing him off.
Considering the losses that Doo Ho Choi was coming off of and the fact that he didn't learn from the Stevens fight, from the Swanson fight to the Stevens fight, it kind of felt like the right play. Like,
did you hear about Choi's difficulties with the military?
So he's trying to sign up to do his mandatory 2-year service, but the application's not going through or being delayed or he's waiting. And so as a result, he couldn't leave South Korea this whole time. That's why he was fighting on this card. He's not allowed to leave the country until they get back to him, but they're not fucking getting back to him.
So it could be another 2 years until he fucking
when he
again.
actually does get clear, it's going to be 2 years.
That's insane. It kind of works out for him.
Zombie got so much fucking better.
I know,
but he's not. Like, you got to fix some shit up.
Yeah. He's 28. So even if he goes on service right now, he'll come back around 30-ish, 31. Not too bad.
He could be so big though, because he could be this animal and he's got that. He's cute. Like, you got that. You look at him and you're like, oh, it's a little boy, and then he just fucking dudes up. Like, come on, man. Like, you could really get there, man. But anyways,
he has all the talent in the world. He just needs to shore up that fucking striking defense. Like, if he can get that under wraps, he's exciting. And again, you can probably couple in the fact, he's exciting because he gets hit, so he's in somewhat of competitive fights. But when he is on, he is like pinpoint fucking murking these guys. He needs
to stay on the whole fight. That's a problem. Like, it's such a noticeable difference. It's kind of the same thing with Marlon Moraes, right? Like, stay the first round fighter for the whole fight. That's what you need to do.
It's weird with Moraes though, because he came over from WSOF and those companies over there where he's beating guys in decisions too.
But at his pace, because his skill set was so much better than them. But now it's like when the skills shore up, when they get closer and then the guy's pressuring you, it just seems like he's not fighting at his own pace.
It was a little bit of a surprise to me to see his I guess regression of cardio, if you want to call it that. Like, I thought he was so much better when it came to withstanding your cardio for even 15 minutes.
Think about where he's fallen from the second round of the Cejudo fight till now. After the first round of the Cejudo fight, this guy looks like, is anybody going to beat this guy? He's about to fucking win the title dominantly, and who the fuck is gonna beat this dude?
Nobody's gonna touch him.
And then right after that round ends, is just nothing but downwards. Even after a win, his stock plummeted. Like,
that's so
what the fuck?
You're supposed to go out there and wreck Jose Aldo, who just had to cut off a leg to make
you look
135.
like a pound for pound king after that first round, and now it's like I don't even know if you should get a title fight, bro. Like, ugh.
Was there anything else on the card that really like stood out to you? Because I don't know how much of it you actually watched.
I skimmed all the fights up until the last 3. I watched the last 3. So I watched Duho Choi Jourdain and then the co-main Racket Troll.
I really, the only reason I want to show you the Lemos and Granger fight is Granger.
Oh, I saw the finish.
You saw the finish?
So I saw that.
I don't know. Okay,
what kind of weird position is that to get a fucking choke from?
I'm not. I hate like. I'm not trying to rag on Granger or anything here. But the way she went out, it was so weird because like, her arms just went straight, and then she was.
I was going to point that out to you because I was going to point out.
I've never seen that before.
Most people, it's like, but this was like
arm straight.
Like, what the fuck just happened?
I know.
It almost felt like she did it consciously and then went out. I'm like, I've never seen that.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen. Mostly, it just goes limp where it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually like you go out, then your body. I guess the rigor mortis kicked in where they go, where they get stiff.
I don't know. She ain't dead, dude.
Like, what
but
the
still,
fuck?
like that was weird, and the positioning of the rear naked choke was weird too because it wasn't fully under. Like it was just at an angle enough that she was still able to cut off those arteries or whatever.
It looked like it was more like where
it
the
looked
grip,
like it was on the chin-ish, but
where the bend was kind of on the chin.
Yeah.
But then I think, oh crap,
you're good. You're good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
But I think what happened was the other side, her blade of her arm on the other side, she was probably pushing against the side of the neck over here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what caused it. Because otherwise it looked like, this just looks like it's uncomfortable on the chin. And then all of a sudden she goes out. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you finish that? But
that was insane.
That was some weird shit.
That girl was coming off a 2-year layoff, going down
say,
2 divisions as well.
It would be so nice if everybody went out like that because the ref, he didn't have to do shit.
I
He's
know.
like, oh, well, she's clearly out now. Let's stop this fight. He's like, wait, is she? Oh, well, clearly she's out. Yeah, stop this. As soon as she did this, she's like, that's it. Like,
out of the almost 10 years now that we've been watching MMA, that's the first time I've ever seen somebody immediately react like that as soon as they fucking go to sleep. That's insane.
Just a quick little thing.
Go for it.
On the odds thing. I was watching a little video that showed the top fighters on this card, their top finishes, and one of them was Hominick Chansung Young.
Oh,
you remember that 7 seconds? And then I recall Zombie was a plus 400 in that fight.
Yeah, he was a heavy dog.
Minus 600 because Hominick was coming off the Aldo fight.
Yeah, where his stock kind of raised because he had that 5th round where he almost came back.
And I'm just thinking of it now, of like where they are, where their careers were. I'm like,
I think that was
the time to cash in. No, he just kept losing. He lost to like some
Pablo
Filipino
Garza
guy. He lost to Pablo Garza.
Didn't he lose to Pablo Garza?
He lost again to what was his name? Eddie something. Eddie Yagin.
Oh God, don't.
It's Eddie Yagin.
Oh, you're so right.
What is it?
So he lost to Aldo, Jung, then Eddie Yagin, and then Pablo Garza.
How did I remember that shit? Who the fuck knows about who Eddie Yagin is?
Split decision loss.
I remember that fight. Now. I remember him like losing that fight.
Wow, he beat Hominick and then
he just lost twice and retired.
It wasn't even in the UFC.
Yeah.
That's weird. So they like cut him or something?
No, I remember that. After the Hominick fight, he was out for a long time with some health problems, I think. And then I think in that time he got cut and then he probably came back.
The move went quietly unnoticed despite Yagin's manager providing evidences of him being medically cleared to compete under contract. Oh, Yagin was released of his contract due to his medical condition sustained in his planned bout with Dennis Seaver. That's weird.
Okay. So they wouldn't medically clear him. So I guess they let him go so he could go fight someone else. Yeah.
And then he fought 2 years later against a couple other guys. But yeah, that was fucking nuts, dude. I was there. We were there for that. Were you there too?
For what?
Hominick getting knocked out by Zombie.
Because I wasn't there. I was watching it live at home. I think that was 140. That was Jones Machida?
Jones Machida.
Yeah, okay.
You weren't there.
No, I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, I remember I was there for that one. That one was tough to watch. I was a huge fan of Mark Hominick.
And then when he loses to Eddie Yagin like that, you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
That whole team kind of fell off a cliff after Sean Tompkins died. Remember? Fucking Sam Stout, him, Hordesky. Those are the main 3 guys coming out of that gym and they all just fucking ate shit.
Yeah. And then I remember Hominick was still, I think Garza was like plus 250 to Mark Hominick. Still after 3 losses, and I'm like, what? And I remember putting money on him and like easy win.
That one was tough.
Yeah.
Did you see that Eric Perez knockout that I sent you? I think I sent you a GIF last night when I saw it. Yeah. Well, Eric Perez lost as a minus 270 underdog.
Goito?
At Bellator. Yep.
Takeo Mizugaki totally exposed him and killed his career run.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of this guy.
Yeah, I remember you bet on Mizugaki because you're like, I'm not sold on this dude.
But this guy was like a plus
that?
200-ish. It should replay. Nope. Not going to replay. Here we go. Come on, motherfucker. Yeah, it was pretty quick too. It was like less than a minute. There we go. If this fucking plays.
Seriously, does it have to really load a 3-second clip? The fuck is it loading? Okay, there we go. Oh,
it was literally just like a left hand.
God.
Puts him down. Go to sleep. 54 seconds. That was rough. And Barnett fucking getting pulled last minute.
What was that? Did he ever explain what it was? Did he have a fever or something?
Apparently he was severely under the weather, so they had to pull him from the card.
Maybe he was just dehydrated too, had the flu or something.
That's nuts. I
he probably still would have won the fight. Ronnie Marks fucking sucks.
Yo, he opened up around like minus 250-ish and he closed out like minus 340.
Minus
you see the difference?
Minus 250 against Ronnie Marks? Ronnie Marks fucking sucks, dude.
I gotta show you something. Do you remember Ronnie Marks in the UFC?
Yeah. I remember Thiago Santos was a huge underdog to him and he fucking liver kicked him in 40 seconds. I remember Yoel Romero knocking him out in the 3rd round. I remember he had a boring decision win over Aaron Simpson.
Yep. But that was at 185, eh? Yeah, look at this now. This is modern day Ronnie Marks on the left. And Ronnie Marks before he fought, I believe, Derek Brunson on the right.
It's sad to see because it's like this is clearly a guy who's not caring or giving a fuck or trying.
No.
You're not
How do you
trying.
go from 185 to weighing like 240 something? You know, have a little bit of respect for your career.
Seriously. Like right? You shouldn't, if you're a fighter, why do you have flab on you? Unless you're like a top, I guess.
Tanner Bozer and Roy Nelson get a
unless
pass.
Unless you're fucking DC.
Or DC, yeah. Everybody's calling Tanner Bozer the Canadian Roy Nelson.
I mean, like, he didn't get put out.
Yeah.
He didn't even get wobbled. Give him that.
Fucking hilarious.
That is pretty funny. He's like a bigger version of Roy Nelson.
They're like, that's Roy Nelson spending a winter in a Canadian forest and then coming back down and trying to fight. That's what everybody was fucking saying.
Where he lost a bit of weight, but not all of it.
Yeah. There's a Bellator on tonight. Alima Leigh McFarlane defending her title. I've always liked her. Like, she's fun to watch. She's been somewhat of a dominant champion now for Bellator. Competition's obviously
dominant
not there.
In Bellator.
I know,
Bellator's women's flyweight division.
Come on.
The UFC flyweight division fucking sucks right now. It says developing. What the hell does Bellator have in a flyweight division? How does Bellator even have featherweights? Like, these organizations need to get together and just be like, can we just unite and have one featherweight division that we all draw from? Because there's not enough of them out there. God.
That's so cool, dude. But hey, they have that tournament going on right now. Isn't there a featherweight tournament that they have going on? Or sorry, men's featherweight. Women's featherweight is way more stocked up.
Fucking tournament are you gonna have in featherweight? I mean, women's featherweight.
Women's featherweight, there's no tournament.
Do you even have 8 fighters?
The funny thing is on UFC's website for their athletes, under women's featherweight, there's 7. There's 7 of them.
They have rankings now?
No, not rankings, but just like the roster.
Oh, the roster.
The roster page for the women's featherweight.
Top 7.
7. Chris Cyborg.
Who's gone. Felicia Spencer. Megan Anderson.
Megan Anderson. The girl that Megan Anderson just beat, which Farazine Santos or some shit. Leah Letson. Kat Zingano.
As a featherweight.
Also gone.
She was originally a flyweight who then moved up to bantamweight.
She's in Bellator, so she's not even on the roster anymore. Another girl named Juliana Spoliarenko or something.
Is that the chick that Megan Anderson is set to face?
No. That girl's not even on the website.
Why isn't she? She's a new one in the division, but you have fucking Zingano on there and Cyborg?
So out of the 7 that are on their website, only 4 of them. Only 4 of them are on the roster.
And then they're missing that. Like, they don't even know who to give Megan. For fuck's sakes, the girl she's getting, I think her record is like 4-0.
She's 4-0.
And she's fighting like the number 1 contender at featherweight in the UFC.
Hasn't fought in almost a year and a half. Even the girl that Megan just beat didn't fight in like a year and a half, 2 years.
They got no one for her. What are you going to do? Megan Anderson versus Felicia Spencer every other fucking card?
This is perfect. No. This is all a part of the plan, Tony. This is all a part of the plan.
Building up that division.
You let Megan Anderson go out there and dust these girls, serve her up to Nunes, and you just empty the bank account on Nunes. That's it.
You know what? I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea.
Think about it. Let her fucking beat these scrubs.
I don't even think Megan Anderson has enough time to get a Nunes fight. Her stock is so low.
She's won one fight. Felicia Spencer still. Felicia Spencer's actually fighting the girl that Megan Anderson just beat.
You got lay and prayed by Holly Holm at a weight class low. Okay, no. That was a featherweight fight, but it was still a way smaller fighter than you. Holly Holm laid and prayed you. That's
She's
it.
Not good.
Stock
She's not
shattered good. After that.
All she has, and I hate talking shit. I'm not talking shit about her, but like all she has is power. Even her technique striking is
not that great. I remember when
her striking defense is
in the first round when Holly shot. I remember she landed a wicked knee, but that was literally like the only thing she landed in that fight. That looked good, so I was like,
she landed maybe a couple good punches on Holly.
Beat up Holly, but
she has power. That's all that's going for technique wise. And I think she probably had an opportunity to knock out Holly Holm if the fight stayed on the feet.
Strictly off of her power. On the feet. Yeah,
strictly off the power.
Yeah.
But when you get guys that are girls that are able to go in there and mix it up, Felicia Spencer, Holly Holm, I don't know about this Norma Dumont chick that she's about to fight, but I gotta watch her.
Another thing is like Megan Anderson's talking about how like she needed that last win, like for her confidence and this and that, and I'm like, if you're already doubting yourself at that point, are you really gonna get that much better?
Yeah.
To it feels like that's always gonna be there.
For her, realistically, she should be in Bellator.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's where you're gonna get the most fights, probably. And you're not gonna be
Cyborg and Julia Budd at least.
Julia Budd, you know, Cyborg slowly starting to decline. I think Cyborg would still beat her, but she's starting to decline. She's starting to get older. I just want to take a quick look at the Bellator card tonight. There's not much. Speaking of the featherweights, AJ McKee's.
Oh, that's a good fight.
He's having his featherweight opening. No, second round fight.
Second round
of the tournament against Derek Campos. He's like a -800 favorite. Makes sense.
Yeah, well, he starched the other guy in one round, so
yeah,
he's I think the first. Yeah, he's the first one to fight.
I
like that little lottery thing they did though. In terms
that
of
was
picking
cool.
It was good.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
Mauro Ranallo was perfect to narrate the whole way through, like because it was a live performance, like it was legit, like a live performance.
I didn't actually watch that live. I mean, like I read the results. It was cool, and just the whole concept of it, I thought was really
watching it play out was actually cool too.
Okay, was it? Okay,
yeah, they just had all the guys on the stage, and they were just like saying, "Okay, you're up. You get to choose a fight." Blah blah.
I felt like something like that, especially under Bellator's control, is probably going to come off super cringy. But that's pretty impressive.
Exactly. I thought it was going to be cringy too, but it was kind of fun because like they had all the guys up there talking shit to each other, and like Mauro Ranallo was narrating everything, and they had the bracket up for you at the on the screen.
Okay.
And every time somebody picked a fight, they like switch it over, and they'll show like, okay, this guy's fighting on this day now.
It was fun how they did it. It's something different.
I don't know what they're doing for this one though. I think the bracket is set as is now. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh,
like moving forward for round 3,
if they're going to be able to pick again for the top 4,
exactly. I don't know how that's going to work out. But I like it, man. Like it's funny how Bellator goes from being a tournament-based promotion to going back to being a regular promotion. Now going back to tournament almost.
Because Scott Coker, he loves the tournaments.
The difference is they were just tournaments. This is, okay, we're going to take the best guys that we have and put them into this tournament and let them fight it out.
We're going to do a tournament when we actually have names to fill out a tournament.
Yes.
That's what I like. It's not just forced. Yeah. It's like, okay.
They're struggling to find guys to fill out tournaments back then.
When you keep doing tournaments, you have guys fighting 3 times in like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And then they sit out for a bit, but then they have to go again, back in 3 fights potential. It's too much. Too much of a schedule.
I like
tournament here and there is cool.
I like the approach that PFL is taking with like the season and tournament thing. They still got to figure out like, because when they have 2 fights in one night, they have to do the first fight as a 2-rounder.
I hate that.
And then
shit.
they have to figure out
the winner
wins.
of the first round goes on. What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't need more than 1 fight in one night. Like you don't need to fight more than once in a night. So just get your victory, prepare for the next one.
And move on.
That's it. I don't care for.
I don't like this. It was a draw, but you won the first round.
Look at the fucking the championship fights at the end of this year are like guys that are just filling in for other guys.
Yeah.
All the not USADA, but like all the failed drug tests. I don't know if you saw that. Alex Nicholson is suspended for 4 years. Fucking huge fine.
He was on everything.
Daniel Pineda can't fight for the title anymore because he popped for something.
High TE ratio, but he's disputing it, saying what the fuck's going on
so
here.
Weird. Like there's so many asterisks that go into, but I love the PFO's method of that. The only issue I have is obviously besides like the fighters filling in, you're going to get the same matchups over and over and over again, season after season after season.
And it keeps happening.
If you don't populate it a little more.
They got to get a little more.
Good job that they got Rory.
I was about to say the Rory thing. Finally, like this is what every fucking smart fighter should be doing. If I'm Rory McDonald, oh wait, this company with lower level fighters is offering a $1 million
asterisk beside that too, because there are some talented guys there.
But overall,
it's not the same level of
if
UFC.
you're going through a tournament in PFL versus even Bellator or UFC, you're fighting maybe one guy that's on your level, if even that. Like, if I'm Rory, that's an easy 3 wins in a row and $1 million paycheck. Just win one fucking tournament and retire.
I hate to call it easy because it's fucking MMA.
I get like, what you mean.
Jordan Johnson
easier,
was supposed to
relatively. Let's say relatively easier.
Like Jordan Johnson was supposed to go in there and scrub everybody and win the $1 million. Yeah. I think he's in the finals coming up now, but there are some tough guys for him to face there. I don't know what Rory's division is going to look like in this.
For making $1 million, it's not going to get easier in MMA than going through a PFL tournament if you're a top level UFC or Bellator fighter. Like, you should fucking leave, go win a tournament, and then just re-sign with a major company with $1 million in your bank account. It's more than $1 million because the fights on the way there, you're still getting $200K each or something.
Somebody was saying that their PFL is not done making a splash with the free agents. Apparently, they're going out for other big guys too. I don't know who's left.
Yeah, who's backing them in terms of money? Like, they can't be profitable.
They have investors.
They cannot be profitable.
They have a ton of investors, and they are paying out all their champions too. So they've only had one season go by so far.
They're probably going further and further in debt because where are they fucking generating this money from? I don't see it.
I think they're aiming for the long game here because it is producing entertaining fights. It's enticing highlights. You know, we're seeing it a lot more on Instagram, on Twitter. They have Chamatkar Sandhu running their PFL social media. So he's hooking up with guys like with Ray Rod and stuff to make those like edits that are seen everywhere now. So they're doing their best to just pump out as much as possible. Sure. And then they have decent investors too. Kevin Hart's one of their investors, which is a trip as well, right?
Random, yeah.
I don't know who's.
But they got to start getting bigger and turning a profit. Like, I don't. Oh, maybe I'd be super surprised if they're turning a profit.
Horrible. Yeah. They're giving out comps everywhere.
That's what I mean. Horrible. And then you're just on NBC. How much money are you really getting from all this?
It's tough. It's a good spin on MMA, but like it's going to be tough to attract a crowd if you're not the UFC.
Very tough.
Yeah, the rest of the card is really not the craziest. Jason Jackson against Kiichi Kunimoto. Kunimoto was actually supposed to fight a different guy.
Michael Page.
No. Page is fighting somebody else. Fuck. Kiichi was supposed to fight another name.
Yeah, it was a name. I remember that. I remember seeing... All I remember from fucking with Kunimoto is his chin in the air as Ferguson kept fucking hitting it. And he wouldn't change his goddamn stance.
Oh, Naaman Gracie. He was supposed to fight Naaman Gracie, but Gracie pulled out and Jason Jackson pulled in. Yeah, decent guy. We got other plans for today. I might throw it on in the background if we're around, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be at your place still, but I do want to see Olamide McFarlane's fight.
We're cooking today, bro.
Are we? Oh, yeah.
We're cooking today.
Yes. I think that's a perfect way to come to a close for the episode, because I know you guys can't really see my face properly enough, but I'm tired as fuck.
Yeah, you're tired as fuck.
I slept from 9:30 to 1:30.
Okay, well, I don't need you crashing at 8 p.m. So after we're done this, you go sleep immediately. I'm gonna go make your fucking bed for you and tuck you in before I get out of here.
Give me a kiss on the forehead. Fucking go to sleep, buddy. I'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Pick up Alfred and tuck him in with you. There you go.
Dude, I was so awake though, because I hit that giant fucking parlay too, right?
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Kyung Ho Kang fucking first fight on the main card. So like the entire time I'm just waiting for that.
Dude, when you sent me the parlay and then I looked at it and I'm like, it's only Kang left.
I know.
And I'm like, he 100% he's hitting this. 100%.
It's so much easier to hit giant parlays. Like, it wasn't even a giant parlay. It was five legs. Yeah, it was five legs. 5 legs. Because it was the sports NBA. When you bet on the spread, every time you bet on the spread, the odds are always like minus 107. So once you parlay those, you get way better payout.
Way better.
So
and then you bet on a hockey game?
I had 3 minus 107s. Then I had a -1 on Pittsburgh Penguins, plus 145 over the Oilers, plus 145 because it's a spread. And they won by 2. So even if they won by 1, it would have been a push. So the payout would have been slightly less. Okay. And then fucking Kang. Dude, this is how you can tell I was destined to win this, because there's 2 other bets I was thinking of putting into that parlay other than Kang. It was Tywin Claxton to win inside the distance at the Bellator event the same night. That went to a decision. And Omar Morales to knock out Dong Young Kim or Dong Young Ma.
He couldn't finish him.
Couldn't finish him either.
He came close. I know. Spinning back kicks, 2 of them. Like, what the fuck?
I was this close to even betting Kang inside the distance too, but I'm like, you know what? He's my lock of the night play. Let me just fucking put him in there straight, and just to cap off his parlay.
Kang goes to decision most of the time anyway. So
his jiu-jitsu is really good.
He grinds him. Yeah.
Lee,
he's a grinder.
Ping Wen, I think he would have been able to submit Louis. I don't even know how to say his name, but the guy showed great grappling defense. But I do want to, when we do deciding splits, first round, I want to go through that with you again because Kang had him down the entire time, but Liu was actually throwing quite a lot off the back too. But I still had Kang winning. I still had Kang winning
too because I'm like, he's landing, but they're not very damaging, and Kang's also landing a bit. That's the thing. Too. So you got to give it to him.
So you got to go with Kang's top pressure with efficient striking over the round compared to Liu just hitting off the ground consistently,
just grazing, doing this
because he wasn't stopping. He was like literally as soon as he hit the ground, he was offensive off his back the entire time.
But he was defending the whole round, and his offense was not enough to negate. That's
if it was just Kang holding him down, that's the difference.
Even the last 10 seconds, he postured up and landed good shots. And I'm like, you ended the round in a defensive position. You were in defense the whole round.
Let's not forget that was a fucking split decision too. So when those scorecards were being read, I was like, no, I can't get fucked right now.
It's funny. When you messaged me, I went to that fight and just skimmed it real quick because I wanted to see the decision to see about your parlay. So I'm skimming it quickly, and every time I'm skimming, all I see is Kang on top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably easy, 30-27. Then I see like winner by split, and I'm like, what the fuck? And the funny part is, 2 of the judges gave Lee the first round.
Oh, shit.
2 of them gave him the first round, and then 1 of them gave him the third round.
Mm-hmm.
One judge had all 3 Kang.
Yeah. Those are 30-27.
And then the other 2 had Lee winning the first round, and then Kang winning the next 2. Oh, sorry, one of them had Kang winning the next 2, and then one actually had Lee winning the third round.
That had me biting my fucking nose. But once I hit that parlay, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm happy.
Dude, if I was you watching the fight after the bell sounds, I'm like 30-27 unanimous, bro, easy. And then split, you're like, what the fuck?
My boy tweeted me right away. He goes, did you shit yourself? I'm like, a little poop came out. I'm like, if you're getting ready to split decision in a fight, you think you decisively won. Of course you're going to shit a little bit if you think, especially the hometown guy possibly getting screwed here. That would have been fucked up, right?
Yeah, no more Ngannou Lewis results.
No. I also had another parlay of... Rakic screwed it, so that one kind of went to shit too.
If you ever meet Francis Ngannou, you should let him know he owes you $4,000.
I should let him know.
You owe me, motherfucker.
Throw your hands or something.
His back was gone.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah. You threw nothing that fucking fight, you bitch. But it finally came around. This was a great way for me to end the year too, though, because it was a rough little stretch from like July to now. A lot of up and down.
Dude, you deserve that one because I think there's been at least 3 or 4 parlays that I know of where you're always one away. Pretty solid pick where it's like, this one should hit. 1 away.
Heinrich last week screwed me out of $4,000.
What was the other one? I think...
I've had a couple, dude.
Well, your brother had one too with... there was like 8 or 9 fights on it and the last one was Condit over Hendricks.
Condit over Hendricks.
And it would have paid out like that one wasn't as big. I guess it was like $800 or something. Yeah. But yeah, like all of them were correct.
We've had a lot of
And then Johnny Hendricks beat Carlos Condit. Like,
We've had a lot of heartbreaks in the past. Just one fucking fight.
But even with me, like whenever I make a parlay, I'm not putting crazy amounts of money on it, but it always comes down to the last one, and it always fucking misses. Like I'll have like 2 or 3 open parlays, and I need one guy to win to hit all of them, and the fucking guy always loses. Something happens.
2 days ago, I had a 3-legger NBA parlay, lost it by 1 point with the spread. Utah Jazz were supposed to win by 6 points. They were up by 5 points with 6 seconds left. They got taken to the free throw line twice for 4 shots total. The guy missed all 4 shots.
Oh, fuck you.
So
they
won by 5. They won by 5.
Joke.
The same guy. So the guy gets fouled. Their center, Rudy Gobert, gets fouled.
No.
Gets sent to the line, misses both shots. Then the other team gets a shot to try to get the game back.
Fuck.
They miss. The same guy gets the rebound. He gets fouled with 2 seconds left. Goes back to the free throw line, misses both shots again. I'm like, I just need one.
You literally needed 1 out of 4 free throws in the NBA. That's
he ended the game 10 of 18 from the free throw line.
Oh my!
4 of those 18.
That's the type of shit where you just never want to bet again.
No, but then you have nights like last night, and then you're just like, yeah, bitch. You're
like, yo, don't let it get you down. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing out here.
I know it's not going to be that often, but still feel good about it.
This was your Megan Anderson's last fight performance. You needed this to get your confidence back.
Don't ever compare me back to Megan Anderson. Fuck you, dude.
You needed this. You got your confidence back, bro. You can do it.
I'm gonna go get fucking ragdolled by Holly Holm now for fucking 15 minutes, knowing my luck. Fuck you, dude. I can't believe you put that juju on me. All right.
Why?
Fuck you. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. We're going to quickly
year-end
jump over.
Next week, sorry.
Is it next week? I think it might be one more week after that. Or am I? Oh, yeah.
December 20th.
You're right.
December 27th. Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm wrong.
Equate the math.
Yeah. The 29th. Or either the 28th or the 29th, we'll do it. Whatever Saturday. One of those days I'm going to see my cousins,
Saturday
but whatever
Sunday.
other day, we'll do that. So we're going to do a year-end rewards. Yeah.
There's no Bellator, nothing.
There's a Risen on New Year's Eve though, so it's midweek. He's fucking out still. Yeah. So we'll be back for that. We'll figure out what we're gonna do for deciding splits as well next week. But we're gonna be going over Rakic and Uzdemir in this next video. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit me with a like. Hit us with a comment. If you guys want to throw out any categories that you guys want us to cover for year-end rewards as well, that would be cool. I think I'll make up a list, but any suggestions would be great as well. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow me at MMALOTN on Twitter, follow him at Choons on Twitter. Websites.
Have you actually gone on my Twitter page?
I haven't looked yet. I haven't looked yet, but we'll fucking figure it out. Actually, not to mention that video, that little clip that I put out of you talking about good guy Colby, that got like 2,000 views.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
It was one of my higher performing ones. So I need to put out more clips like that where we just have like little sound bites of us just ranting on a little bit.
It's important when it's things like that probably no one else is going to notice.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and I think we're good at catching stuff like that.
I just so happened to watch it that
Yeah.
day, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of...
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever the fuck I was saying. MMALOTN.ca for the website. And yeah, make sure you go check out Deciding Splits, and we'll see you guys next week. Merry Christmas. Fuck you if you're offended by that, and Happy New Year.
Seriously.